News.com. I'm Seth Lawrence with this expanded 7 o'clock newscast brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters. Here's what we have coming up for you in news on this Friday. The city of Clinton is evaluating the future of the city administrator job after they recently hired Tony Harris to become what they're calling the Clinton Administrative Assistant to the Council. That story in news this morning. The DeWitt County Development Council is looking forward to 2025. And with another winter storm on the way, local authorities are reminding of winter driving safety. Those stories and many more still to come here in news on this Friday. But first, we stream to Facebook and YouTube, brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent in Clinton. This week, it was announced Tony Harris, DeWitt County's longtime 911 Center director, will be making a jump across the street to become the Clinton Administrative Assistant to the Council. John Weiss has been the acting mayor in the absence of Mayor Pro Tem Tom Edmonds, who recovers from pneumonia at Liberty Village. Weiss indicates, Harris's job will look very similar to the way Tim Followell operated the position before his retirement.
It's the same as Tim Followell. That was basically his title. It's like I'm public property commissioner, but I'm the water department, We have these big, long titles, but basically he is the figurehead for the city. When anybody wants to call about any new growth or building a house or taking care of anything, he does zoning. The guy is just a jack of all trades. We were very fortunate to have Tim for all the years that we had him. He did a great job. He took on duties that, most people would have just shied away from, but Tim was really good at it, and it just kept developing into more and more things that he accomplished and did that helped us not have to be hands-on all the time. So that's how that really is the position, and he does everything. It's economic development. He goes out and visits with the business people. He takes and talks to people that maybe want to start something new, and that's how the position is there.
The city sought for several years to fill the city administrator role after Followell retired as the city administrator. However, after having 3 come and go in that time, the title of city administrator seems to be done away with in Clinton. Weiss says how the city administrator's role fits in Clinton has to be evaluated.
I think that's where we have to take and start looking at it in a different light. Even with Taylor, he wanted to be like the business manager, more hands-on with that. And we're going to have to try to, figure out how it's going to be more conducive for that person in that role. Tony is going to have to take and look at it. We're going to have to look at it. And we're going to have to see if there isn't a way to make that where they have a little more hands-on with they work with all the departments. I mean, he is right there. Steve Lobb is the superintendent, that kind of takes care of public works. Lloyd Francis was our guy that was like the second. Now we've got Kyle Morris, who's stepping up into Lloyd's position, and we're going to have to do a little different structuring. I agree that we're going to have to find a way to make that job more conducive. He has a little more control and can do things. He already has that power to take and talk to all the people that's involved. He has the power, but we need to find a way to make that to where he doesn't have to keep running back and forth to us. We got to give him, just like Steve. Steve can take and make the decisions with what happens with the workforce. He needs to have more control. Him and Clint both do a spectacular job. That position has been there. They look after things day to day. That kind of takes it off of all our hands. They just have to let us know and inform us. And I want to see more of that in how this role with Tony is going to be used.
Weiss calls Harris the easy, no-brainer decision for our problem. He credits Harris's familiarity with the county already and looks forward to him being able to hit the ground running.
It was an easy, no-brainer solution for our problem at the moment, and I think, we all are in the opinion, from Tom to all of us down, that he will do a good job. And, he's going to learn. He's going to got a lot to learn with zoning and everything, but he's willing to go to take classes. He's willing to step up. and he knows everyone in the community. He's had a very good relationship with everyone that's been around, with the city, the county, and I think it's just going to be a really good fit. And we just were very, very pleased that the timing was perfect and it got him into that position.
Harris begins his new role with the city of Clinton on Monday. A DeWitt County nonprofit is looking forward to 2025 after a very successful 2024. Kurt Holman is the executive director of the DeWitt County Development Council and explains they do whatever is in the best interest of the community's local businesses. Right now, that means adding a new member to their board of directors.
I think last time we were on air, we talked about business goal setting. So DCDC does that a little bit for itself as well. I always preface that with, we do what businesses need us to do. So, if businesses need us to go in a certain direction, we pivot and move that direction. But for 2025, I'm actually really excited again about 2025. And again, a lot of that is because what we've done 2 and 3 years ago is starting to come into place. But we would be looking to add another board member to our board. We have a fantastic board. Fantastic board, but adding one more board member is certainly a goal for me this year. We do need to increase our investor dollars. So we are funded, we're funded privately and publicly. So, all of those dollars makes a huge impact on what we can do at DCDC. And, there's still a lot of legwork, a lot of phone work, a lot of discussion work, but those dollars really do correlate directly with what we can do for county businesses. And that's, of course, every city within the county as well.
Holman hopes to have their new website completed as soon as possible. Additionally, he stresses wanting to support DeWitt County businesses through the DCDC's low-interest loans and grants.
We're going to complete our website early on. Hopefully late towards the end of this month, maybe early February. We want to focus on our revolving loan fund. We've implemented a new borrower earlier this year. It was late last week, and that helped a business expand, add some employees, and it was a pretty darn small loan to be able to get that done. So just a couple of heads up on that. We have a low interest loan fund that can go directly to businesses. Yeah, it is gap financing, so sometimes it doesn't fit an exact bank or traditional lender's requirement. We can step in with funds to help a business move forward with their plans when it makes sense to do so. And again, the interest rates on those are 3 to 5%. Up to a 5-year term, up to $50,000 to generate some revenues for a business. Mm-hmm. So we want to continue with that. Of course, our grants, I think I've talked with that. And again, I want to expand the number of businesses that I work with, whether they're new or existing businesses. I'd love to have some manufacturing back in Clinton, and we're gonna make a focus on trying to get some manufacturing business to fill some of the warehouse space in Clinton, mm-hmm. in particular. And I expect with some hard work, and we'll get that accomplished as well. But as always, a lot of big plans, a lot of excitement at the beginning of the year, and I look forward to talking to you again this time next year, so we can hopefully say, yep, did this, and mm-hmm. and here's where we've come, and here's where we've gone.
The DCDC works alongside the DeWitt County Board to promote the county's economic development. Holman has full confidence in newly elected board chair Joe Whitty to continue their success.
In all fairness, those discussions again were going on under prior leadership as well, but Joe clearly has a real focus on economic development, and the rest of the board. We do have 2 board members that serve on DCDC, Joe being one of those. Joe's the president of DCDC this year. So he's a great addition. And I do feel as though, the county's making progress in that regard. But I'll say that it's really because we're making progress as an organization as well. So, the two go hand in hand. So it takes us doing all the right things, or most of the right things, to get the support of the county on board. And,
sure.
And I feel like all of that is absolutely coming together. And I couldn't be more proud of that.
Keep up with all the updates on the DCDC soon-to-be new website at dcdc-illinois.net. Still to come here on the morning show in news, as time is 17 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. A Central Illinois lawmaker is sounding off on the other side of the aisle for what he calls misplaced priorities during the lame duck session. That's still to come in news this morning. And a Central Illinois recreation destination is offering some winter recreation opportunities. That story still to come in news this morning as well. More snow is on the way in Central Illinois, so it's especially important to practice safe driving. Piatt County Sheriff Mark Vogelzang reminds, when warming up your car this winter, be wary of anyone who may take the opportunity to steal it.
The cold, the snow, and the ice starts, occasionally we see people that go out and start the car to get it warm, which is nice, but just keep in mind that there are those people out there that are looking for those free, cheap vehicles that they might be able to steal and drive. I know over the years we've seen where an occasional car is stolen because it's out in the driveway. They're starting it to get it warmed up and get the ice off the windows, but just keep that in mind. There are people out there looking to steal your car.
When hitting the roads, the sheriff implores people to clear their windows completely to ensure the best visibility possible. Also, check out online road conditions before setting out, and if you don't have to leave your home, stay off the roads.
Yeah, occasionally you drive down the road and you see the people that have about this much of their window cleaned off. Make sure that you're clearing off all your windows, your side windows, the back windows. That way, when you get to the intersections, you can make sure that you see all the oncoming traffic. So clean your windows. The other good website is IDOT. They've got updated road conditions. So before you set out, check IDOT, see what they're saying about the road conditions. If you can stay home if you don't have to get out and about. But check those road conditions, allow a little extra time. Don't tailgate. I know sometimes there's those people out there with road rage and they're tailgating. Give yourself a little extra room between the car in front of you. But there's a lot of things, keeping your gas tank full. What do you have in your car? It's appropriate clothing if you slide off into the ditch. Do you have that jacket and a hat? Or are you one of those out there wearing shorts all through winter? And if you slide off and you have to try and shovel yourself out, if you don't have the right clothing, it can be tough.
Clinton Police Chief Ben Lauer says taking the extra few minutes to prepare your vehicle before getting out on the slippery roads will pay dividends. He also stresses slowing down and moving over for emergency and service vehicles.
Take that extra few minutes. Start your car. Let it warm up. I can't stress enough what that extra couple minutes might mean in terms of safety for you and others on the road. So clear your windows in their entirety. Also, brush off those headlights and tail lights so that you'll be visible to everyone around you. Obviously, increase stopping distances and slow down and move over for emergency vehicles. It just absolutely tears my heart up to see inevitably every year we're going to have, whether it's roadway workers, whether it's emergency service personnel, someone's getting hit, and there's just no need for it. Nonetheless, slow down. I see it all the time traveling down the interstate. I'll see flashing lights. I am religious about getting over, and so is 90% of the traveling public. But every time I see somebody that is still in that right lane and passes them, and I just cringe and I just hold my breath as they pass, whether it's a police officer with somebody pulled over, a tow truck, whatever else. Please, 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 we just absolutely plead with you to move over. It's not only the law, it's for the safety of yourself and those that are out there working.
If you're to become stuck, Chief Flowers recommends putting on your hazards, staying in your vehicle, and calling for assistance. He says your vehicle is the best protection until help arrives.
If stranded or stuck, activate your hazard lights and stay in the vehicle and immediately call for assistance, and call 911 if you need to. Call 911 to let them know where you're at. Make that call first. That will let emergency services know where you're at. They'll come, provide protection for you, a tow truck, whatever we need. And then go ahead and call that family member or whatever else. But stay in your vehicle. That vehicle is your best protection. I can't tell you when it was, but I remember so vaguely just a few years ago, I know the sheriff's office had a situation where I believe a woman had gotten stranded and then got out and started to walk in blizzard-like conditions. And not only the elements, but also traveling motorists, that's just an extremely dangerous situation. And then puts those that are sent out to try to save that person in danger as well. So stay in your vehicle, use the protection, get off of the roadway, activate those flashers, stay in that vehicle, and let that vehicle be your protection.
As Central Illinois finds itself getting more snow today, remember to drive slow, allow plenty of time for travel, and wear your seatbelt. A Central Illinois lawmaker is sounding off on lawmakers on the other side of the aisle for what he calls misplaced priorities during the latest lame duck session. State Senator Chapin Rose is calling out Illinois Democrats for ignoring issues impacting Illinois residents and focusing on an issue that he says will invite risk.
What happened yesterday is often the problem with lame duck. GM thinks through when no one's paying attention. And when you talk about this name change bill, this is completely absurd where we're at. We're not talking here in lame duck session about helping our constituents. We're not talking about helping people put food on their kids' tables. We're not talking about the economic instability of the state. We're not talking about the debt crisis that's looming. You're not talking about crime. You're not talking about, again, about the cost of food prices. Instead, we're talking about helping a bunch of non-citizens change their name to create essentially a loophole that is ripe for exploitation. It opens the door for individuals to manipulate legal systems, manipulate legal processes, hide their true identities, and avoid accountability. And frankly, not just goes without saying, accountability from ICE in particular. This bill, folks, doesn't just ignore potential risks, it invites them.
The Mahomet Republican says the message from the Illinois legislature is clear. If you're in Illinois and struggling, your concerns have to wait.
This is completely insane that in a Sunday in a blizzard, the Democrats are down here passing a bill to protect illegal criminals, help protect illegal criminals, and you're doing it when no one can pay attention. It's just absolutely everything that's wrong with the whole notion of a lame duck session. Priorities? I mean, are you serious right now? The priority of the Democrat majority in this town, in this state, is to protect illegal immigrants and help them change their names to avoid ICE? That's their priority? What about the people of Illinois? It sends a pretty clear message. If you're a hardworking Illinoisan struggling to put food on your kid's table, struggling with inflation, your concerns have to wait. Because here in Illinois, Governor Pritzker and his Democratic buddies are once again more focused on prioritizing the needs of illegals than they are on prioritizing the people of the state of Illinois. Illinois definitely deserves better.
Lawmakers conducted the lame duck session before the newest General Assembly was sworn in earlier this week, all within a matter of days in Springfield. Now it's off to the governor's State of the State and budget address in the next few months. With the arrival of recent snow, Macon County Conservation District is announcing cross-country skiing and snowshoe rentals are available at the Rock Springs Nature Center as long as weather conditions permit. The Nature Center caters to winter sports enthusiasts of all skill levels with trails designed for both novice and experienced skiers. Rentals are open to anyone ages 5 and up, provided there is at least 4 inches of snow. Equipment is available on a first-come, first-served basis, and all rentals must be returned by 4:30. Rental fees are $10 for a 2-hour session and $20 for a 24-hour rental. Equipment packages include skis, boots, and poles, or a pair of snowshoes. Those opting for the 24-hour rental can take the equipment off-site to explore other locations. Rock Springs Conservation Area is at 3939 Nearing Lane on the southwestern edge of Decatur. Visitors can reach it via Route 48 or Wickles Road with directional signs guiding the way. Plenty of parking is available on site. For more information, visit Rock Springs Nature Center during regular business hours. News time is 26 minutes after 7 o'clock. We'll wrap things up coming up on the morning show.
Happy New Year from all of us at Baum Chevrolet Buick here in Clinton and Farmer City. This is Scott Baum. Most of our customers trade for a different SUV or truck because their needs change each year. That's good because we have transportation options for you. Plus, we need your trade. Our selection of top quality, pre-owned trades come from you. Come see our ever-changing new Chevrolet and Buick inventory today. BaumChevyBuick.com. Right from the start.
News time is 26 minutes after 7 o'clock here on this Friday. Again, I'm Seth Lawrence with you folks today for this expanded local newscast. Time now for a look at this morning's obituaries. 66-year-old Michael E. Mont of Waynesville passed away at OSF St. Francis Hospital in Peoria Tuesday, January 7th. Cremation rights for 66-year-old Michael E. Mont have been accorded. A celebration of life service will be held at a later date. Memorials can be made to Waynesville Fire and EMS. Final arrangements are entrusted with Queeram Peasley Funeral Home of Atlanta. 81-year-old Charles Chuck W. Johnson of Clinton passed away January 6th at his family residence. Services for 81-year-old Charles Chuck W. Johnson will be at 11 a.m. this morning at Calvert Funeral Home, with Pastor Terry Leach officiating. Burial will follow at Texas Township Cemetery in Clinton with military honors. The visitation was yesterday evening at the funeral home. Memorials can be directed to St. Jude Children's Research Hospital. 71-year-old Richard McConnell of Clinton passed away January 6th at his family's home in Clinton. A celebration of life for 71-year-old Richard McConnell will be held Sunday, January 12th at 2 p.m. at the First Christian Church in Clinton in the Family Life Center. The family has entrusted Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton with cremation rights. Memorials in Richard's name can be directed to Second Chance for Pets of Clinton. And finally, 89-year-old Richard Stanley Dick Johnson of Kenny passed away January 4th at his family residence. Private graveside services for 89-year-old Richard Stanley Dick Johnson will be at Pleasant Valley Cemetery in Kenny at a later date. Calvert Funeral Home of Clinton is in charge of arrangements. Memorials can be directed to Second Chance Pet Adoption of Clinton. News time is 28 minutes after 7 o'clock on this Friday. Coverage of news is brought to you by Baum Chevrolet Buick in Clinton, your Silverado headquarters, and the morning show streams to Facebook and YouTube. Brought to you by Peterson Insurance, your Pekin Insurance agent.